So we're still busy reading from the Great Human Potential, and we're on the last section of The Love in Your Life is You, and it talks about obligations. And I'm always fascinated how our conversations will lead to our reading, and it will lead to the meditation, because they're all interlinked. Nothing is said just or just for nothing. There's a reason. So it's just to reflect on, what do you feel obligated to do? And B, what obligations do you place upon yourself? Because if I look at myself, if I allow myself to do something because I'm inspired to do something, I do it so effectively and so beautifully. But if it's something that I must do, that I feel obligated to do, hell, I want to run in the other direction, very, very far away from that. I don't do obligations very well. I don't do norms and standards very well. It's like, I don't like to be told what to do or what's expected or whatever. It's like, I'll do it because it feels right and because I want to, not because I have to or I must. Those that usually don't sit well with me. But I know, and especially in Durban, and especially amongst all the different cultures here, obligation is a big thing. And it's like programmed from generation to generation, and a lot comes with these obligated feelings, and good daughters do all this, and yeah. So it's to help those that struggle with obligations. Now we want you to list 5 obligations that you have. None. You've got no obligations? Anyone that can help me with obligations that you feel you have?
Yeah, I feel obligated to do loads of things. I feel, obligated to help everybody that asks for help. And I'm talking about family members mainly. You know, do this, do that. Can you just check on this for me? And it all adds up, you know, it adds up to quite a lot of obligations in the end. And I'm sort of, I'm getting tired, put it that way. That is basically what I do. I'm running around doing little chores, and none of it is what you were talking about, Fiona, stuff that I actually want to do. None of it is, if it's something I want to do, as you say, I'm very keen and I'm there. But so much of it is just a drag. And yeah, I feel very obligated, and I feel it's my job to make Christmas fun for everybody, and it's my job to invite all the people. And you know, and this year I just decided, no, I'm not inviting all the people. They can come or they don't come. It doesn't really bother me either way. And if they come, they must bring food, because I'm not going to be cooking all night. I mean, last year I was actually still cooking at midnight on Christmas Eve.
No,
it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So that's what I mean about obligations. It's that sort of mother thing, you know, that you feel it's your job to do these things. And I've got to let go of it, and I am actually letting go of it, because I really do think now it's other people's turn to sort of take care of me a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they can only when you step back and allow them to.
Yes.
You're the only one that's at fault, because you're standing in their way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. That's why I'm sorry?
I was also always felt obliged to help the family and always be there for them. But at that time, I was a bit like you, a bit resentful about it. And eventually spirits stepped in and got someone else to phone the family and say, listen, this is what your mother can do. She cannot do any more than that. And so be it. And since then, I have been able to say, yes, I will do so and so. No, today I am seeing my friends or whatever. It doesn't suit me to do that anymore. And now it's a pleasure. If they ask for help and I can do it, I willingly do it. But if it no longer suits me, I can say so and without feeling guilty. So
see, with me, it's sort of, I feel it's my job. And that's what I've got to let go of. It's not my job. I have retired. It is not my job. I don't have a job anymore. And yet it is, I feel like it's my job.
You see, Barbara, when our children were young, it was our responsibility to look after them and everything else. Now they are grown up, it is their responsibility for their journey. We can help where we want or are asked to and are able to, but it is no longer our responsibility. They are grown up.
Yeah.
And it's just something I've been...
And it's not just the children, it's everybody, you know. I feel that it's my job to help everybody. And it's not. And it's, yeah, exactly. Anyway, so I completely get the whole obligation story.
So, for example, you may feel obligated to call a parent every day. And I know clients that are like that. Or maybe feel obligated to have lunch every week with a certain friend. It could be something in the present, past, or future. Once your list is done, we would like you to consider saying no to that obligation. When it comes to doing something out of obligation, we would say either not to do it, or you have to reframe your perception of it. Know that when you agree to do something and the intention underneath is of a lower frequency, meaning there is a resistance in the doing it, or it making you unhappy, that is what is going to be created in reality, a low vibration experience. Let's take an example of the lunch with a friend. If you don't want to go for any reason, then simply cancel, or you reframe it by finding something that you can appreciate and love about that person and or your lunch date. This makes a big difference in the vibrational outcome of what you experience. This is a big piece with working with self-love. Doing something that you don't want to do takes such a huge amount of energy that prevents you from nourishing yourself. This is part of your conditioning, especially for women. You think that you have to give, and you end up energetically bankrupt.
It's talking to Barbara.
Pero.
No, you're quite right. She's quite right. I sometimes do feel energetically bankrupt.
So it is important that you look at the obligation that you have set up. When you go through with something that you don't want to do, you are not honoring yourself. This is not only includes obligations in the relationships to others, but also obligations you place on yourself, like going to the gym because you feel that you should. Diet is also a big one, especially around being a vegetarian. There is a lot of superiority programming there, but also programs around deprivation. Honor what your body asks for. Money is another big issue. Money is nothing more than energy. Are you worried about the money in your life, and what does it represent to you? Is it usually what money represents is that you need to focus on? It is freedom, creativity, status, or worthiness. If you lack money, what is it that you are denying yourself, and why? The fear program is present. If you truly loved and nourished yourself, you would allow yourself to experience and having infinite abundance, and that includes money. So think about that. The more loving you are with yourself, the more loving you can be with everyone and everything. If you don't do that, you will find yourself very tired and running in circles. We know this is not always an easy thing to look at, and we applaud you for doing so. We also are so very excited for you, and we really want to acknowledge your willingness to look inside of you and find that self-love first and foremost, because all things are created from that point. And although it's a short one, I thought it's a very powerful one, and that's the end of that chapter, so we'll just leave it there. Okay, Mickey says, oh my word, that resonates. Good to hear. What I'm taking away from this is to truly, I'm going to say, discern the reasons why you do things, your motivations. And it's to check in with yourself. How does it feel doing this? Because when we keep on not listening to ourselves, this is not making me feel good. This is not something that I'm inspired to do. This is not something that, this is heavy, this is negative, this is fearful, this is making me feel this way or that way or whatever. If we keep on not listening, what must the body do with all that negative energy? Because it's stuff that we put upon ourselves. And it's the client that came yesterday. It says it's ended up like a big black cloud that hangs over you, and you feel this heaviness. And but it's us doing it to us. And if we understand that self-love means that we can say no, we're then able to say no more easily. Guilt-free. You know what? I'll make it this week. I can't attend this week, or I can't do this now, or I've got too much on my plate already, or I'm spread too thinly. It's just open and clear communication. There's always a way. You're not the only way. And it comes back down to one of these cards where it says, you know what? I think it's the invention card that says, if a couple of balls get dropped by the wayside, that's also good. It's not a bad thing. It's to allow balls to drop, or allow other people to juggle the balls. You don't have to be the be-all and end-all for everyone. You don't have to. People that come with people-pleasing programs have it difficult because it's so difficult to please everyone and to make everyone happy. It's their responsibilities. And delegation is good. There's more than just your two hands in the house. I mean, they're more than just your pair of eyes that can see where things are. It's like, you know what, I don't know. Have a look. Well, I think it's in that direction. Don't take all the heaviness and the stresses from others. Barbara, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say what resonated with me as well was, it's the way you look at what you have to do. So when there are things that you have to do, you can either look at them as being a chore or as something that you're doing for yourself,
Yes.
in which case it makes it seem a lot more pleasant.
Yes.
So it was just a thought that came to me while you were reading that thing. Yeah.
Yes. Because we can change the energy. It's like
Yeah.
you said in the past, it's like just changing your perspective and changing the lens that you look through stuff.
Yeah.
It's stuff that you would like to see through, change how you feel about it, and then you're not doing something bad against you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also something else this week, there's been a lot of negative energy coming from outside, people within Greenbelt Village all fighting with each other, and there's been a lot of negative stuff like that. And I got the message as well just now about how, because it's been affecting me, unfortunately. And I think that it's because I have allowed, I've given it energy, in other words. So if I don't give it any energy, then it's not going to affect me. So that was just a thought I had as well.
I'm going to say, don't go where other people go. Meaning when
I
they
know.
drop to that lower vibration and they are in the fighting mode, because the same as in the Beryl's Park situation where there was all this fighting happening. The best that you can do and the most effective is just put light, candles of light, rose quartz in your mind, amongst the pathways, amongst the roads, amongst the community. Visualize it in a crystal dome. Just ask the angels to just bless them with love and compassion and kindness and peace, because people struggle with what they are feeling, and then they not feeling good about themselves, and then they lash out, and then there's the blame game, and then there's the name calling, and then there's this. But it's you can hold the picture of peace, and you can just say, so it's the advice that I gave to the client yesterday. It's like you can draw others into your peace, or you allow them to draw you in their chaos. But when you stand in your power and you stand in your truth and your integrity and your head held high, and you are, I want to say, the peacekeeper. Literally, figuratively, emotionally, spiritually, you just anchor that and you just spread that. And you have no expectation of the outcome, but anything but that. And sometimes it's like in Beryl's case, also it became worse before it became better, but it did end up there. And all that you can do is, but what are you going to transmit? If there's then you can transmit the cool, calm, and collected. It's not to take sides or think, oh, why is this one so ugly to this one, or why is this? It's not to drop down to where they are at. They're playing in still 3D, and that needs to play out. But you don't have to participate. You can just detach, see things from a different vantage point, and shower them just with a lot of compassion and love.
If I can add to the last bit of my story that went on for weeks. Every time I went past this woman's house, I sent her love. And I just did it on a regular basis. If I thought of her, I sent her love and light. And on whatever day this week, I was driving past her house. I sent her love and then saw her talking to someone I know. So I thought, well, I can't not say hello to the person I have always been friends with and everything else. And so I decided I would greet them both. And I waved my hand and said hi. And she had no option. You could see her hand coming up slowly. And I just kept sending her love, and she had no option but to greet me too. And I will just continue to send her love and let it be like that. And she has no option but to respond in love.
Yes.
Because there's nothing to fight with. So that's just the next part of my story.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, I would have climbed in too and had a good fight. But I no longer wish that.
Yeah. It takes too much energy, and it doesn't make you feel good about yourself.
No. And it's actually quite exciting to send love instead of.
Yeah. Alrighty, are you guys now ready for the guided meditation? Okay. I want you just to become comfortable.